If you're shooting bracketed exposures and you are using a flash, but you are finding that it's really hard to get the flash to turn off when you're firing those brackets, maybe you're trying to pull off the transmitter or you are having to manually turn off the flash itself, this video is going to be for you. I will show you the way that I have simplified my workflow and really sped up how I take flash exposures when I am shooting brackets for real estate. This video comes from a comment that was left on my last video talking about the Godox X3 transmitter. And in that they are saying that, and one of the things that they find to be a big pain point is shooting brackets and then also firing a flash frame, because if they leave the transmitter on, then the flash fires or the brackets don't fully continue and it kind of stops, and then they got to turn the flash off, and it just adds a lot of time, right? Even if it is only 15 to 20 seconds, when you're doing 40 to 50 photos, sometimes that really adds up, and it can be 5, 10, even 15 minutes of time that you're sitting around fiddling with this stuff. So in this video, I will show you how we solve that problem. Okay, so let's set the stage here. We've got our Nikon Z8, we have our transmitter on the top turned on, and we have our 8400 Pro here turned on and ready to go as well. Now, typically what happens is you're gonna have your timer on, you click fire, and that is going to fire the flash every time you fire a bracket. Now, the usual solution to this is to either take off this guy from top of the camera or turn him off here, or even turn off the flash itself. But the problem then becomes, after we fire our brackets, we then have to come back, we have to turn this on, we have to turn the flash back on, or we have to push this back on. That can introduce camera shake into your camera, because the more times you touch it, the more it can move, and being a little bit off on every single flash frame you take can make alignment problems, and it can just be a huge pain. So here is how I do it to make it a lot simpler and a lot easier. Now, I covered setting up user settings, custom user settings, or the shooting banks like they have on the Z8 and the Z9 in another video. So this is not going to go into depth on how I set those up and what I use. If you would like to know that, you can go find that other video in my channel or in the description below here. But what this is going to do is focus on how we turn off the flash in camera so that we don't have to be turning it on and off on these. That way it makes it to where all we do is push a button and we can swap in between different user settings, and the flash turns on or off for whatever user setting we are in. Makes it a lot simpler. You can also bind it to a key if you prefer to shoot in manual mode, and we'll go over that. So to do this, you'll need to be in whatever custom user setting that you are going to use for your flash. On the Nikon Z8, I use the C bank, excuse me. If you're using, say, like the Z6 III or another one that uses user settings, typically I would either have manual be my flash mode, or I would use the user 3 setting for that, but you can use whatever makes sense to you. So you're gonna wanna go to your photo menu. Once you're in your photo shooting menu, scroll down to the flash mode. Select that and then go over and select your flash off. There will be an option at the bottom to turn it off under that flash mode menu. And this is gonna be it. That turns it off, makes it really nice and simple. You're gonna wanna go into your setup menu and then save this to whatever user setting you chose. If you left it in manual and that's how you're using your flash, you can just go ahead and leave it that way because your flash will be turned off. Now, I will give you a tip on how to set it up on a button. So if you are using manual mode for everything and you don't wanna use custom user settings, you won't have to worry about going into this whole menu again and doing it to turn it off. All right, so if you want to set this up to be a button, you're gonna want to go to our custom controls and go to our custom shooting controls. And then in there, there will be an ability to bind it to a button. Typically, it is one of the function buttons on the front. The Z6 III has them as well, or you can bind it to one of the buttons on the back. You'll wanna go to that flash mode and then bind it to that button. So when you press it, comes up, and all you have to do is scroll one of the little dials on the front or the back and it will turn it off for you. That way in manual mode, you can just do everything from there and you don't have to mess with user settings if that's how you want to shoot. And it's as simple as that. If you have been struggling with this is a very easy way to make it to where you set up a custom profile to have your flash only fire when it is in that profile and then it is off in the other modes. That way it simplifies all the buttons you have to press and what you have to do. Like I said, on my 8, I typically run bank A for my exteriors. I have bank B set up for my interior brackets, and then I have bank C set up for flash. That way all I have to do is push this little function button on the front, twist the dial between the modes, and I'm ready to go. It's as simple as firing off 5 of them, pushing a button, twist, boom, fire the flash, and you're good to go. No messing around with buttons, nothing like that. If you guys have a different camera and you have like a Sony or a Canon, let us know in the comments what these profiles are called for you, or if it differed any from me and how I set up my Nikons. I know every manufacturer has a different name for things, so it can really help out if you guys want to put that in the comments. And if you guys like this video, if you like seeing tips, you have any more you want to see, anything else you're struggling with, let me know. I'd be happy to help. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.